Hi friends, how are you all doing today? I am sorry that I did not turn up yesterday. Um, Mark had the day off, and so we started our day late, but we still started it with, and I'm logging onto my computer, just now logging onto my computer, and it is past noon. It's 12:30. So we started off the day yesterday with checking not Facebook, the health place, uh, the marketplace, healthcare marketplace, because I'm on Obamacare, as you know, or I mean, that's what we call it. I don't know what it's really called. Health place insurance, whatever. And then we went out to do some errands around. Well, I can tell you exactly. So we left the house at 11:36 and we got home at 5 o'clock. So by the time we got home, I was done. So I finished my, I thought I brought it in here. I guess I didn't. I finished my antibiotics yesterday. Second course of antibiotics in like a month. I am doing the neti pot. If you don't know what that is, it's like a little bitty teapot with the very long, like, nose on it. And let me just run my, pardon me just one moment while I run my, see if, okay, it's already run itself. It's a little teapot with a very long nose, and you fill it with, I fill it with distilled water at a solution, and you put the long nose, you don't put it in your nose, you just put it on the edge, and you let the water circulate all the way through your sinuses, and then it comes out the other nostril. So I do like half the pot in one nostril, blow my nose, and then do half the pot in the other nostril, blow my nose. I have been getting green stuff, I know it's gross, out of my sinus cavities whenever I do it. Even though I've been on antibiotics, even though I have been on 2 courses of different antibiotics, doxycycline and Z-Pak. So I'm feeling pretty worn down, like my body's feeling pretty worn down, and I've been having to take like naps, and which is, to be honest, I want to say pissing me off. That's not the proper word, but it is, because it's so beautiful outside right now. I would rather be outside, like in the garden, doing jobs and stuff. But I got this stuff from Amazon. So you could order it locally. You can order it from Walmart, but it's the same price. Like, you can't go pick it up. You have to order it online. I heard about this from Dr. Haider, Dr. Paul Haider. It's Haider, just like yesterday. No, the day before. It has, I'll show you. So you're supposed to take it. So Dr. Haider was like, he did a video, and I think the title of the video was like something about getting rid of excess mucus, which is what I need to do. So I watched it, and the whole video was about this particular thing, and I've never even heard of it. And he said, go on Amazon and look at the comments, which I did. So I thought, it was $16.99, I just peeled this off of it. It was $16.99, so I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'll at least try it once. If it doesn't do anything, I won't do it again. One of the comments said, I've been to 4 ENTs and this helped me, and they couldn't. So it has sorrel herb, elderflower, primula flower, verbena herb, and gentian root. So one of the comments said it can cause stomach upset and diarrhea. And if it does, then just back off the dose. So it said the directions are adults take 1 tablet 3 times daily or as directed by your healthcare practitioner. Not to be taken by children under the age of 12. Recommended for use from 7 up to 14 days or as directed by your healthcare practitioner. At the first sign of hypersensitivity reaction, it must not be taken again. Patients with a sensitive stomach or known gastric disorders should take Sinupret adult strength, preferably after meals. Possible side effects: discontinue use immediately and consult a healthcare practitioner if you experience allergic reaction or gastrointestinal distress from this product. Anyway, you can go on the back of Amazon and read. They look like this. You can see I've taken one. The Amazonians just dropped it off. So I will give you a report because I do have, if you don't know, I have Hashimoto's disease, which is where your immune system thinks your thyroid is a threat and it attacks your thyroid. So because my immune system is attacking my thyroid, it doesn't have as much time or energy to attack the real invaders. So I end up getting sick more often. Takes me longer to recover. And I just get, whenever I'm sick, of course, whenever you're sick, your body's run down and I'm tired. So, of course, I haven't been eating sugar, haven't been eating carbs, well, except for like vegetables. I haven't been eating bread, which is a carb. So, none of that is affecting my health because I'm not doing it. Anyway, so there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but I don't know if I'll get around to it because the last video was long, but today I'm doing 2 days. So maybe I will go ahead and chat about everything, maybe not. So the first thing I want to talk about is the word culture. So I will explain why in a minute. So this certain term has come up just from one creator, but she says it so often and in such a weird way that I don't even watch. Whenever she says it, I will turn her video off. I'd never heard of it before, but it sounds so bizarre to me that I was like, that sounds like a cult. And then I was like, oh wait, cult sounds like it comes from culture. Sure enough, I looked it up. It does derive from the same root word. But also, AI pointed out that the word cultivate comes from the same root word, which you can cultivate a cult, you can cultivate a culture. So the term is mother culture. And the first time I heard it, I was like, what the heck? This woman was like, oh, I have my mother culture basket. And she has 4 children and she's pregnant with her 5th. And I thought, what is going on. So apparently it is a thing. It is, she didn't make it up. It is a, like, it is a term, it's a way of life. And my question is, if mothers need a mother culture basket, do fathers need to do the whole father culture thing? A kid culture? Where does it end? I just don't, it creeps me out. The whole mother culture thing, the whole mother culture. I mean, and the apparently the idea is it comes from homeschooling. And it's linked to Charlotte Mason somehow. So the idea, I think how it started was, the idea is that the mother needs to educate herself while she's educating her children. It's like continuing education for an educator. That's all it is. It's continuing, like if you're going to be the educator, like teachers have to do continuing education. My daughter, who's a licensed vet tech, she has to do continuing education to keep her license. That's all it is continuing education. There's no culture around it. There shouldn't be. People should be reading books. Anyway, it's a gift. Being able to read is a gift your parents gave you. If your parents insisted that you learn to read, that is a gift, and you should be using it. If you have eyeballs, if you have ears, you should be reading books or listening to audiobooks, because it's a gift. We all love stories. We all love to listen to a good story. So, and books are more than just fiction stories. They're treasures. So it's not a culture. This mother culture thing feels like a cult. So anyway, I've been talking to Mark about this and just been like, he's probably like, if I hear the word mother culture from you one more time, I'm going to split my pants. That doesn't even make sense, but that's what came to my mind. I'm going to hit something. He hasn't said that, but I'm just imagining he's like, would you shut up about the mother culture? But I feel so irritated by it. I have to keep talking about it. So I thought maybe we could have a discussion about it. But I'm moving on now. Speaking of books, the book I am listening to on Libby right now, the audiobook I'm listening to, wow. So people recommend audiobooks. I watch YouTube channels who they every once in a while they'll sit down and have a book chat and talk about what they're reading and blah blah blah. This book came up and I put it on hold, and it came available, and so I started listening to it. And I want you to listen to, hang on.
Ted, I'm kind of crazy today. The Green Boys were loud in the attic last night, so it's no surprise that this morning I went away for a little. Stress.
That narrator isn't typically the kind of voice I would gravitate toward too. It's just a typical voice. There's nothing special about his voice, but yet it's very compelling, and I really like the narrator. I don't think he's the only narrator. This is a creepy book. The author is Catriona Ward. Stephen King says, the buzz is real. I've read it and was blown away. It's a true nerve shredder that keeps its mind-blowing secrets to the very end. It's a World Fantasy Award and August Derleth Award finalist, an Indie Next pick, a Library Reads Top 10 pick, a Library Journal Editor's pick, starred reviews from a Library Journal and Publishers Weekly, named one of the 50 best horror books of all time, brilliant, a deeply frightening deconstruction of the illusion of the self. The Last House on Needless Street, that's the name of the book, is a shocking and immersive read, perfect for fans of Gone Girl and The Haunting of Hill House. I didn't read Gone Girl. I didn't read The Haunting of Hill House, but I think I watched it on Netflix. Anyway, I started listening to it and it's not gory so far. It's not gory. And it's not nerve-shatteringly horrific yet, and I'm at 63%. And I don't do gory, and I don't do, there's certain things that I can't stand. And so far, I have been enjoying it. So I thought I would share that with you. If you have the Libby app or any kind of library app, go look for it. So far, it's really good. Something that is not good is this. So Mark and I have watched things by Harlan Coben, and I think I watched one thing. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. So we had watched Harlan, I thought it was Corbin, but it's Coben. We had watched one of these. I don't remember which one, but it was good, but at the same time, I was like, I felt a little convicted. Kind of like, you should not be watching this. But Mark liked, not necessarily all the bad stuff, but he liked the plot and stuff like that. So he had found out about Lazarus, and he was like, it's a mini series on Prime, let's watch it. And I was like, okay. So we watched the first episode, and it has all your typical crap that you shouldn't be watching, but it wasn't like, anyway, the second episode, I said, I can't, you're gonna have to turn it off. I can't. You can watch it by yourself if you want to finish it. I can't watch it. One of the characters was talking to another character, and she was being so sexually explicit. Or no, he was being so sexually explicit, and not in a normal kind of way, in a way you've never really heard before. And then the woman hits, sorry, spoiler alert, hits the guy who was being sexually explicit over the head with like some object. And you see his brains and the blood. And there's no like scary warning music. It's kind of like Final Destination. You don't know what's going to happen. It just happens. And I don't do shows like that. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. I think it's traumatic. I think that kind of trauma, even watching it on TV, is bad for your brain and bad for your spirit, and it's just bad for you in general. So second episode in, not even, maybe to the halfway point, I don't remember, I was like, no, I'm not going to keep subjecting myself to this crap. It feels like a demonic attack on my spirit. So if you're thinking about watching Lazarus, it's a big fat no from me. We did also watch, Leanne Morgan has a new stand-up on Netflix, and that was okay. It was funny. Again, she's kind of her her series on Netflix crossed a few lines. I thought it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Like some of the Netflix should just be called Nightmare Flicks to me, because it seems like all they push are nightmare type shows. No, like Ladies in Lavender, Downton Abbey. I mean, there are a few of those, but few and far between. Most of it's murder. And I don't mind watching shows about murder sometimes, but it's not all I want to watch. So anytime something comes on Netflix, I'm kind of wary about it. I'm like, it's Netflix. It's probably gonna be really, really bad. In fact, speaking of Netflix, I watched the BTK Killer. Let me find it. So I watched this. My Father, the BTK Killer. Now I didn't know anything about the BTK Killer. I didn't even know what BTK stood for. But Mark was working. I was by myself. I was tired of YouTube by that point because it was like 8 o'clock at night. I didn't want to do anything besides eat my dinner and watch TV. And I was like, okay, a documentary will probably be safe on Netflix. I have watched I'm a Killer on Netflix with actual people in the prison system. So I thought I will watch this one. And I mean, I can't imagine her life. I can't imagine it. She did kind of seem like a whiny brat on one hand. On the other hand, she seemed like she could have been, if her life was just normal. She seemed like she could have been like just a very sweet, kind woman. But yeah, I can't imagine it. So I watched that, but that one, I can recommend that just because it's a documentary. There's not going to be any jump scares. They don't show any. They show some of the crime scene photos, but it's just like they're just showing like the rope and stuff like that. It's not like they're not showing humans, you know? So, anyway, those are the things that I wanted to talk about as far as like the TV and YouTube and streaming services and all that stuff. I remember when both the kids were living here, we were looking for something to watch like regarding Thanksgiving. And other than like the Charlie Brown specials, there's really nothing that I found. I think we watched one movie about a man who was in like his house, and I think or maybe a woman in the anyway, somebody gets stranded and has to walk to the house, and it was kind of like a love story, and it was around Thanksgiving. I can't remember the name of it. That was good. But if you have any Thanksgiving recommendations, I would love to hear it. Because I don't just jump to Christmas. We like Thanksgiving in this house. Yeah, so what I was going to talk about yesterday was not wishing the time away. And what brought that on was I was sitting there thinking, if I already had Medicare or Medicare, yeah, I wouldn't even be worrying about how much we're going to have to pay for my health insurance, or what kind of job am I going to be able to get with my health condition that will either pay for my insurance, or I'll be able to pay for my insurance if it goes up like a crazy amount. And I was really worried. Excuse me. And I'm still worried because the government is still shut down, and there is still, I feel like there might not be a real resolution to it yet. Like there may still be some surprises. So I am worried about that. But then I thought, no, Leela, when you're a young mother, you don't necessarily know not to wish the time away. Like, oh man, I can't wait till they're older because, excuse me, I won't be as tired, or we won't be as busy, and I don't want to cry. But yeah, if you wish the time away, it's time you'll never get back. So whatever stage of life you're in, don't wish it away. Even if you're going through a hard time, you're going through a hard time to teach you something. So I was talking to God yesterday. I'm like, what should I talk about? And he was like, tell him don't wish the time away. Well, I don't know if he said that, but in my spirit, that's what I felt. Like I got that immediately. Don't wish the time away. Today I was going to talk about gaming the system. Have you ever watched a YouTuber? So this doesn't seem to happen in real life. I don't ever meet anyone in real life who goes, what? Okay, except for a business owner who's trying to get you to be more productive. I've never met anyone who in real life who was like, how can this be better? Like who just looks around their house and goes, I like for instance, the color of these walls. I like the color of these walls, but how can it be better? I like the bookcases, but how can it be better? That's like looking, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but it's how I feel. That's like looking for something to occupy your time with. Like you don't have enough on your plate, you got to look for things to do. I can think of 1,001 ways that these bookcases could be better. Am I going to waste my time, energy, and money doing it when they're not falling apart? No. You can see right there, Mark put like old fence boards to shore them up because they're old Walmart bookcases from years and years ago. They're not wooden. They were like shifting over, you know? So he had to shore them up. You can see that. In the future, am I going to like try to fix that? I don't know, maybe, but is it bothering me right now? No. I'm not looking for ways to make things better. There are people who I watch and it irritates me when sometimes they just come out and say it. But sometimes it's kind of overt, covert, and when I realize that they're doing this, I'm like, oh, I can't watch you anymore. Like, why are you trying to sell me something? I don't like to watch people try to sell me things. Are you trying to sell me something? Are you trying to sell me an idea? Which isn't always bad, but it can be. I'm all for keeping your house clean, decluttered, organized, so you can be functional. I'm all for like painting your walls the color that you want. Mark likes the Texas Americana theme, so anytime we find something like either at a thrift store, birthday present, whatever, we put it in this room if there's room. If there's not, we leave it there. But I'm not looking for ways to make this room more Americana. If I come upon it, I come upon it. I'm also very frugal, but I also don't want to waste my time. And that seems like a waste. To me, it feels like a waste of time. Now, if you're just moving into a place, it's your very first place, you don't have any decor whatsoever, and you have some extra money, sure. Sure. Spend your time thinking about it. If you have to move your room around or you feel like your room is not functional, sure, spend some time thinking about it. But why are we wasting our time looking for ways to improve things that aren't broken? That is coming from corporate America who's trying to sell you something. Even if it's trickled down into coming out of a YouTuber's mouth, who isn't really part of corporate America, or you cannot or have not detected that they are yet. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if somebody's trying to sell you something to fix something that ain't broke, cut them off. Like, I'm not telling you to cut a family member off. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, like, stop watching them. Okay. That leads me to the theory of, and you've probably heard this before, gaming the system. Now, I'm not talking about when it comes to I feel like airline tickets, hotel rooms. Like there's ways to get those reduced or free, like through credit card points. And when it comes to buying things from buying shampoo and stuff, there are ways to get them a lot cheaper. That is gaming the system. I'm all for that. They want you to jump through all these hoops because normal people don't jump through the hoops. Not normal people. People normally don't jump through the hoops that they don't know that they have to jump through. They think they have to pay full price. They pay full price. They end up making a lot of money from the people who are paying full price. So they can afford to either sell things cheaper at the end of the season or let you have the item for cheaper, but they make you jump through the hoops. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, I feel like the younger generation, now please let me know if you have another theory. I'm wondering if the younger generation thinks that we're living in a computer simulation. Now, I'm not saying we're not, okay? But does it matter if we are? Because we're still here. I mean, we're still living here. But I think that I don't think they have as much disposable income as they want us to think that they do. I think they're probably very heavily in debt, just like America is heavily in debt. But I think that they have, when you come across someone who says, how can I make this better? And I don't care how much money it costs me to do it. Like, for example, I don't like the way my earrings are being stored. I'm feeling lazy. I don't want to put them up. I have a perfectly good jewelry box. I don't want to use it. I'm going to redo my bathroom structurally just so I'll be able to have some place to put my earrings. Like, what kind of mind does that? Is that a mind that thinks that we're in a computer simulation, money isn't real, they can have whatever they want because none of this is real anyway? Like, who does that? And I know people do it. People are watching alternative things because they're so tired of the mainstream things that a lot of people are watching YouTube. And so that mindset that the YouTubers have, and I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not talking about all of us, obviously. That mindset that they have, that they're selling you the idea that you need to buy a bigger house, you need to build yourself a better walk-in closet, you need to make it better, whatever it is, because you can. Because we're all living in a computer simulation anyway. I mean, do you know that the computer simulation includes tax not tax collectors, but that does include tax collectors. It includes interest rates on credit cards. It includes jail that's real. There's a lot of things that are harmful in this computer simulation, if that's what you think it is. I guess I'm so tired of the whole, like, I have it all. These are probably American YouTubers that I'm watching. I have it all, and it is still not enough. I have it all, and I'm still complaining. I have it all. I have all the makeup I could ever want, but I'm still trying to sell you more makeup. Or whatever the case is, whatever kind of channel you're watching. Anyway, that leads me, I'm back on this book to read to you today because I want to continue. I want to continue with a thought. And it kind of goes along with this. So this is Pilgrim at Tinker Creek, Annie Dillard. And now I'm going to read to you now. Consciousness itself does not hinder living in the present. In fact, it is only to a heightened awareness that the great door to the present opens at all. Even a certain amount of interior verbalization is helpful to enforce the memory of whatever it is that is taking place. The gas station beagle puppy, after all, may have experienced those same moments more purely than I did, but he brought fewer instruments to bear on the same material. He had no data for comparison, and he profited only in the grossest of ways, by having an assortment of itches scratched. Self-consciousness, however, does hinder the experience to the present. What? Let's go back. Self-consciousness, however, does hinder the experience of the present. It is the one instrument that unplugs all the rest. So long as I lose myself in a tree, say, I can scent its leafy breath or estimate its bored feet of lumber. I can draw its fruits or boil tea on its branches, and the tree stays tree. But the second I become aware of myself at any of these activities, looking over my own shoulder as it were, the tree vanishes, uprooted from the spot and flung out of sight as if it had never grown. And time, which had flowed down into the tree, bearing new revelations like floating leaves at every moment, ceases. It damns, still stagnates. Self-consciousness is the curse of the city and all that sophistication implies. It is the glimpse of oneself in a storefront window, the unbidden awareness of reactions on the faces of other people. The novelist's world, not the poet's. I've lived there. I remember what the city has to offer. Human companionship, Major League Baseball, and a clatter of quickening stimulus like rush from strong drugs that leaves you drained. I remember how you bide your time in the city and think, if you stop to think, next year I'll start living, next year I'll start my life. Innocence is a better world. Innocence sees that this is it and finds it world enough and time. Innocence is not the prerogative of infants and puppies, and far less of mountains and fixed stars, which have no prerogatives at all. It is not lost to us. The world is a better place than that. Like any other of the Spirit's good gifts, it is there if you want it, free for the asking, as it has been stressed by stronger words than mine. It is possible to pursue innocence as hounds pursue hares, single-mindedly, driven by a kind of love, crashing over creeks, keening and lost in fields and forests, circling, vaulting over hedges and hills, wide-eyed, giving loud tongue, all unawares to the deepest, most incomprehensible longing, a root flame in the heart, and that warbling chorus resounding back from the mountains, hurling itself from ridge to ridge over the valley, now faint, now clear, ringing the air through which the hounds tear, open-mouthed, the echoes of their own wails dimly knocking in their lungs. I could keep going on, but I'll stop. So, innocence. Innocence is what we want. We don't want Harlan Corbin's Lazarus. We don't want to constantly be redoing our spaces because it can always be better. Nature doesn't do that. Look around, and nature is perfection. So let me, right up there, let me go get our jar and we'll read our positive thought for the day. I'm going to read 2 of them since I didn't come here yesterday. I'll be right back. This video is already longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to try and hurry up because I know a lot of y'all don't like long videos. But it's kind of combining 2 days. Okay, so the first one is, I need to be here. So maybe that was yesterday's. Seems appropriate, huh? So I want to show you I'm not just, I'm actually pulling them out of the jar as I get to them. And the second one is work hard. So there you go. I need to be here. That's what we need to think about today, besides the things I've given you to think about. If you want to think about it. If you don't, don't. All right. God willing, and the creek don't rise. I knew I shouldn't have said that because Mark doesn't like it when I say it. So, Lord willing, I'll be here tomorrow. So, if you like this kind of video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would love you to have you here. If you have the ability to hype this video, I would appreciate it. I don't have the ability on my YouTube app. I don't know why. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow in my next video. Bye.